let's let people give Murphy some love.
Would you like to say anything to the people, Murphy? How old's Murphy? You and your whistling.
Just baby.
5-year-old Murph.
Hey everybody.
Murphy's broadcasting debut.
He's making his debut.
Debut.
God, he's such a lover, you guys. Good. Yeah, I think he has been on the Sprite couch before. We're back at it.
The Sprite couch, the lemon
Krista
lime
Hall
couch.
Stevens is with us. What up, girl?
What's up, Krista? She's like right here.
I'm sure that would get picked up. Your mic is too good for that.
We're I'm trying to find it on my phone so I can follow along. There we go. Now I just need to turn that off. Cindy Hopkins from Maine. Stonehouse guest. She's part of an elite team of people. Yeah. Scotty Jackson said hello.
Hey, Scotty. Where
Hi.
are you watching from?
Yeah, we need more than that, man.
Well, Tay and I are watching from Salem, Virginia.
Salem, Virginia.
Which is
Just
right
down the
next-
street from the former Calhoun Creamery. Calhoun Street
Can you
Creamery.
see in the background?
There's a sign in the background right over Grayson's head that
Murphy. Oh.
got some traction last week. So Carrie has fond memories of going to the ice cream parlor, the best in her opinion ice cream parlor ever, and had to buy the sign from us at Black Dog when she joined.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, she didn't want it to go into the hands of a non-Salemite.
Wisconsin, Pennsylvania.
Yep. Blake from South Carolina.
Thanks for watching the show, Shelly.
Fred Dice from Birmingham.
Welcome, everybody.
Robin from New Jersey. We got a whole
Anyone
smattering.
from Cleveland? Nope.
Crickets.
I'm not from Cleveland.
Kingsport.
But I just came home from Cleveland.
Rhonda Clark from Kingsport. Margaret from PA. Karen from Slidell, Los Angeles? No, L.A. That's
Slidell.
Louisiana.
Yeah, outside of New Orleans.
Yeah. Which you
Near
spent some
Chalmette.
time down yonder way.
Yeah.
Well, let everyone trickle in. 108 people watching already. Y'all are going to make us blush.
I'm nervous.
So, what
Thanks
did we
for
do
being
tonight?
here.
Yeah.
I know it's, I guess it's an hour earlier than normally thanks to daylight savings time.
Yeah.
We all got an extra hour today, so we appreciate you spending one of those half hours with us.
Totally. I started running errands today. I left my house at 10 and I came home at 10.
That's magic.
In my mind.
That's magic.
It's because I forgot to set my clocks, I guess. But I came back like, what just happened? Yeah.
I had to drive 7 hours in the car today, or ride 7 hours in the car today. So I appreciated having an extra hour outside of the car.
You got chauffeured, eh?
Yeah.
By
I was
her
driven.
fiance,
Driven
Garrett,
crazy.
who's very handsome. And his last
We're
name.
gonna start a new
his
rumor.
his last name shall remain nameless.
Yeah, Peanut Gallery in the back. Let's give a shout out to the Peanut Gallery. They're here every week.
Yep. Peanut Gallery's screening.
Standing by. We appreciate them.
They keep us on brand, on message. It's important stuff.
Yeah.
Fairmount, Illinois, Fishers, Virginia, Matthews, North Carolina, Meadville, Norwalk, Ohio, Navarre, Florida,
Ohio.
Sartell, Minnesota, Whiteville, Virginia, Tucson,
Whiteville.
Arizona, Austin, Texas.
This
Dang,
is so
guys.
cool.
You
My
guys
God. Welcome,
showing
everybody.
up.
So,
Showing up. So tonight we were
we were back in Kannapolis, North Carolina.
City of Kannapolis.
If you're watching from North Carolina, you may have heard of it. It's outside of Charlotte, and it's been incorporated for a while, but they are revamping their downtown area, and it is super cool.
Yeah, it was pretty wild filming there because it was basically in the midst of a town-wide renovation, so it was like a ghost town. And I don't mean to say that in like a creepy way. It was just like, that's just what happens when you completely redo
Right.
4 city blocks.
Right. Hence why we went back. I mean, we'd been there before.
Yeah,
earlier.
Exactly. And
for another
this
episode.
Salvage was not
Lots
2
of-
blocks away from where we were the first time.
Lots of fun stuff, especially if you're...
Annette Keller, shout out to
Yeah,
her.
hooked us
She's
up.
I'm sorry I forget your specific job title, but she was kind of our
She was
connection
the one who reached out to us and got us...
to the job.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the
And-
mayor, Daryl, was
Yeah,
super
Martin
awesome.
Milton.
Daryl Hennett, right? I looked it up. I'm sorry.
I know
if we butchered it.
We should just blame it on our accent.
Super nice guy. Yeah, we're just from Roanoke. We're not very smart. So yeah, sorry. Hey, I'm just taking the
I'm over here like not helping at all. Like, yeah, you got this one, Jay.
I'll take the fall. Anyway.
But yeah, how cool was that clock at the beginning of the episode? I know you really enjoyed making it, and I really enjoyed watching it.
Well, what was cool about that clock is that it was entirely, with the exception of the clock movement, which is an essential piece to just buy online to make the clock happen. It was all parts from the mill, the textile mill. The body of the clock was the end of a spool,
which is in Kannapolis.
Correct. So it was the that Dad talked about it a little bit in the episode. It was the Cannon Mills, which was the name of the textile mill that used to be the backbone of Kannapolis. And so the body of the clock was made of the end of a yarn or string spool, and then the things we put in the 12, 3, 6, and 9 position were just gears and parts that I was actually. Funny story. I was actually down there buying one of the retired police cars from the police station that we salvaged in the first episode when we were in Kannapolis. And while I was down there, Annette showed me around the sort of basement of some of the buildings associated with the mill, and I picked with the intention of getting, too bad there wasn't a camera there with you.
I know. You need your own show.
I need to vlog. I need to be a vlogger.
When you go out and buy your cars. And what salvage you bring home?
That's right. Have we ever been to Minnesota? Linda Palmer asked.
Minnesota. No, I've never been.
I
definitely haven't been for work. So find us a salvage shop. It has got to be a big one. I know that's far away and probably cold.
Minnesota.
Tell them about what the little skinny decorative things that shot out from the starburst.
The whiskers, we'll call them, from the clock, were, as I understand it, they were parts from a loom. If you've ever seen the movie Wanted, where they try to grab the thing going back and forth in the loom. I think
shuttle?
The shuttle. There you go. I think it's those fingers. They were part of the parts that go up and down. I don't know. This isn't.
Reminds me of Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Nails.
It's not what I do for a living, clearly. So I'm sure I'm butchering it. But is my understanding, and the people I was picking with, it was all parts from the. They just said, "Here, take them all." They gave me in bundles,
which is perfect because we all went back into their into them, which is cool.
But so that was a nice little way to break up the day. We Dad and I broke off because we brought that down with us when we came back, and so in the middle of the day when the mayor called us and said he's some
ready,
time, we shot over
to present it to him,
the city hall building, which is all brand new, by the way. The campus
gorgeous.
Of downtown Kannapolis is
it's really
amazing.
Cool to see. I mean, obviously in our line of business, we're usually working in old
run down,
and so it's really cool to see the progression. How people go in and take care of places instead of just moving out.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be opening up one of the biggest, I think, focal points of the Kannapolis rebuild is their baseball stadium. It's going to be super awesome, and hopefully when it's done, we can go back down for a game. Hey, Grayson and Tay. Tay is my friend. Grayson won't accept me. Sorry, Mario.
And then Barb Carey asks, "Are we a couple?" No, Barb, we are not.
Oh, savvy. Well,
sorry to ruin your
day.
I've got a question. Selfishly, I'm going to say my mother is watching.
Oh, Betsy's mom. Man,
yep.
She's not missed a game yet. She's our biggest fan for sure.
Do you guys have anything about the cupola, taking that out, that you guys want to talk about? It seems like a little bit of a dangerous operation.
Oh, we were getting to the cupola.
Okay, so the cupola was, if you watched the first time we went down to Kannapolis, we had a little bit of a practice round, you might say. We got a smaller cupola, yeah. And then we went back for the big mama cupola, obviously, this trip. And this one had the weather vane on top. Fun fact.
It's a weird, I'm not an architect, but incorporating something like that into the top of a building is odd in the sense that it breaks up the normal roof line. So trying to understand how it's attached and how integral it is to the building, because the building wasn't coming down, so we need to make sure not to drop it through the roof or compromise any of the existing roof structure.
But I feel like you did drop something. What was that, Tay?
I did break some things. There was a sign.
Tay rarely makes mistakes, so we like to give him a little bit of a hard time when he does.
And I beat myself up real bad. So.
Oh, dang! Oh my God.
Perfectionist.
Yeah, they didn't show it on the show.
I know.
Usually they take advantage of those moments. So
I
we have
know.
our faults.
I was about to when I was watching the episode. I was like, here it is, right here, and I broke it. So, in the front of that store where I was sitting with the forklift lowering the cupola down, there was like a flag pole sticking out from the side of a sign.
Yeah, but it was like a metal, it wasn't cheap, I wouldn't say,
holder.
but like, I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
And as I came down with, I think it was when I had the cupola on the forks, I just smeared this thing.
Oh yeah, that thing must weigh, the cupola weighs probably like 500 pounds, and obviously the forks are heavy. I mean, it didn't stand a chance.
Didn't even notice it was there.
Yeah.
And Robert, of course, before I did it, he
like
said, take
clip.
note of this. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I see it.
It's right there, right? Yeah.
How could I miss it? Of course, when you have a cupola on the
it's right
forks,
in front of me, right? No,
I don't see it, and he just looks at me like.
He loved that moment.
It was like $125 maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just like domestic.
We took it back. And honestly, it's
straightened
I don't
out.
think we fixed it, but it's still redeemable.
I'm not perfect, okay? If there's any doubt. But we got the cupola down right before it started raining. Meanwhile, you guys were
working
out
in the
some
bank, breaking out of the
windows.
bank. Oh yeah,
the
well,
windows,
okay.
too.
So also in this building, yeah. So, it was a furniture store, I guess.
Yeah, department store.
The front, end of like a furniture business, and they had those double paned windows like you saw us taking out, which were a lot heavier than they seemed, and we took a lot of them. I think there was 6, 9, and 12 pane windows.
Wooden frame.
Frame. Yep, exactly. And right now they're making great room dividers in our renovated loft at BDS1 upstairs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they could be doing, they could be used for that again, but they are.
I think
they're still up to
modern.
code, so you could even use them again as windows. Yeah.
They were heavier than they look. Okay. We got a we got a team.
We know we had to hang.
We got a buff team over here that had to handle those
more than once.
Walker Hooper, my friend that helps me produce the Machine Shop series, is watching, and he said, "Who's this guy, Tay? He looks pretty handsome."
Oh, Walkie.
Called you out, buddy.
Walkie.
You're on the inside.
Yeah.
So we did that. Dad bled in the bank. Did some.
It's been a long time since your dad's shed some blood.
Yeah,
Hasn't
at least
it?
On TV. I mean, he does it. He does it daily at Black
Yeah,
Dog.
he always says, people always come up to him and say, "You're the bleeder," and he's like, "Oh, that's so season 1." But it's not.
Like
It's
he's
not.
gotten
It's
so much
clearly-
better.
It's
Yeah.
still season 9.
What's funny is I was just talking to Garrett about this. Like he gets cut, and then instead of putting a Band-Aid on it, he just continues to work. So blood just goes everywhere.
Like dripping on the ground.
And then I don't know. I don't think he does it for camera, but like the visual impact of like just blood all over his hand is like, whoa!
It's there. Yeah.
But it's like a tiny little cut that he just didn't fix, and it's just going everywhere.
So during the episode, it looked like Mike was doing his own kind of thing. Did y'all know what he was salvaging on the other side, or?
So we, while you and Mike in the beginning, in the morning, were salvaging the cupola. And so we didn't want to go and work below them, obviously, if they're working on the roof. So we went next door to this bank, Robert and Ted and I, and we salvaged parts of that. And we thought we had done a good job. We kind of cleared it out and moved on, at least in Robert's mind. And so when you guys were done, your dad went over to the bank and evidently scavenged a little bit more.
I didn't know
would scavenge really be the right word? I don't know.
Yes, scavenge is the right word. I was on window loadout with Spike. Spike came with us on this job, and
so your dad was up to his own devices.
I had heard that there was nothing really in the bank. So
Robert had closed it off. He
right,
was like,
and
we're
so I was
done,
like, I don't feel the need to go in there.
Yeah.
Dad's in there.
We've salvaged vault doors before. They're heavy. They don't sell. We're moving on.
Actually, I just remembered my thought. I remember thinking like, whoever's in the bank is probably having easier time than I am having right now, like loading windows. So I was like, man,
in the rain.
Yeah, I was like, I do kind of want to go in there, but I, had
it
a
turns
job
out you
to
made the right decision. I think.
Yeah, I would have been bleeding too. This was funny. Sandy said, "You two need shirts made up saying you aren't dating."
Oh, we can wear them every episode, like after.
I'm not with stupid.
I know. I'm stupid. I'm not
way.
whatever. That's cute.
Yeah, Grayson, you were one tough gal from Linda Palmer.
Thanks, Linda.
Angela Brown says, "This is awesome." I love it. Yeah. So bleeding in the bank, cupola on the ground. Here's a question from Well, actually, I'm not going to address that question. Okay, well, now I have to. The question was about, like, contaminants in old insulation and stuff like that. And most of the time, in fact, all the time, if that's even an issue, we make sure to not only mask up, but talk to who owns the building and make sure that the asbestos abatement was done if that's the case, and that all the hazmat things have been taken care of. So
I mean, we're never perfect, but we try to really be obviously safe because there's a lot of eyes on us, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe talk about how you vet the jobs, and that not of the 100 jobs that come in, only a few.
Well,
yeah. I mean, we get submissions, or we just get people notifying us all the time about potential salvage jobs, and if it's going to be something that's too dangerous, I mean, we just can't do it. It's not worth the risk, obviously. Again, with all the eyes on us. Right.
Well, and that doesn't stop. I mean, it doesn't stop people from writing in and saying you're doing it wrong, but it's got a lot of moving parts. You know, it's funny. I'm trying real hard not to like sound bitter, but when you're at home and watching it, it's easy to just visually see based on what's on your TV, like, oh, there's a mistake, or that's something they forgot, you know. But when you're in the field, you try to check all the boxes you can. You try to wear all the safety equipment you can. You got a lot of moving parts. You got people involved, and it's like some people just go off and start working before you can have the safety meeting and all that. So it's like,
we're
you do what you can, but it's like,
whenever I watch us, I mean, there's always things that come up when I'm watching, and I think, you know, we could have done it better all the time, or like, you know, something I did that made me feel.
Oh, they're thinking that too.
You know, I mean, and safety is, you know, obviously number one. So,
Grayson, where did boogers come from?
Where did that come from? Somebody says that. Is that like a Mike saying?
You boogered it? Yeah. That's a common phrase, I guess.
I love how I'm not claiming that at all.
Yeah. Wait, that's a
I'm
Mike
still
thing,
like,
right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. I might have said it,
you
but
know,
I didn't mean it.
Slightly damaged, you know, messed it up, boogered.
You boogered it.
Boogered
I guess
it.
it's
And Robert was you called Robert out for doing the boogering.
I know. That's the best part, you know. I think I was just getting him back for when he was talking to you about boogering up that sign earlier.
Wow. LaWanda says, yay, why are you smarter than your dad?
LaWanda,
wow.
Girl, that is... I'm
going to let you tell him that.
I'm going to leave that one right there.
Yeah, you're trying to get me in trouble.
Mike ain't even here to defend himself.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. I mean, you try to
You're
learn
more of
things.
the engineer, and he's more of the
cowboy
engineer.
Yeah. Well, you know, you hope
different
that
kind of smarts.
Every generation sort of picks up on new things, and I try to improve on myself constantly, so... Dad taught me a lot, but there's a lot that he taught
you how
me
to
that
yourself,
I took on and went further. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just progression.
This was a fun episode because we kind of had two builds. I know we kind of talked on this before, but
yeah. Oh, that's
true. So the
true.
second part of the episode was our main build, which was the standing desk, which was beautiful and just sold. But we always make desks. Y'all know us.
Desk, bars,
make you another
tables.
One.
Yeah. That base came from the machine shop, and I'm sure you guys have seen the episode involving the price filler machine shop, the 1920s machine shop in downtown Roanoke that Dad and company bought. We picked a lathe base out of there, which was actually not what we built the build out of tonight. We picked on the show. We picked like a 8-foot lathe base out of there, which was non-functional. It was pretty broken, so that's
still
why we took it.
Waiting for
it's actually still
at the warehouse.
But the base we used tonight did also come out of that shop. It just wasn't, you know, a little inside baseball here. Like, you know, when you're shooting on the fly, basically the intention that day was to find something in the shop that we could film taking out, and that we were also supposed to be thinking about how we could make a build out of it, you know. But it's hard. You know, you got everyone showing up on site ready to film, and it's like you're kind of just shooting from the hip. Like, well, maybe that, you know, let's make something happen. And so you take it out and you take it home, and then you get it back to the shop, and you're like, well, on hindsight, I don't think that's going to be that easy to
bit
build
off more
something out
than
of.
I could chew.
So we went back to the machine shop actually and found something a little smaller. And we were thinking stand-up desk because we hadn't done that. You know, it's I'm not going to call it a fad, but it is kind of a trend, and I think it's a great trend. People are starting to make more you're starting to see stand-up desks more.
We all have them.
Yeah, everyone in the offices at Black Dog has them. And it makes sense. You get tired of sitting all day. So
yeah.
That was the goal with that, and the lathe was, and plus that lathe weighed like
so
800, 1,000 pounds.
Right.
So like,
can only make it
while
so
that
much
would
lighter.
be on par with Black Dog furniture, we wanted to not do that. So anyway, a little bit of behind the scenes there, but yeah, it came out great.
Yeah, what were those two, like augers or screws? What were those?
I feel like I remember getting those out of the machine shop as well. Yeah, they were like augers. I think they were out of that shop, but they were not machining tools. I think they were tools that the machine shop was fixing for somebody or had rebuilt
like
for
made.
somebody, but they were just left there.
God, it looked so cool. I mean, everything about that was salvaged. Well, the slab, I guess, was new. If you want to, but you know what I mean. Like that's that's pretty awesome.
What is Bourbon Board? Asks Mark Pipkin. That's a great question.
That's a really good question.
Bourbon Board is kind of something we came up with.
Yeah.
It was pine.
Something we salvaged.
Pine flooring beams that we salvaged in bulk from a bourbon whiskey factory.
A distillery.
And,
yeah, they're about, I mean, the length is maybe at least 8 feet long, but they're like at least 8 inches deep, maybe 9, and then 4 inches. I meant wide, and then 4 inches deep.
Yeah, and they have holes where they were like bolted to the floor, and they've got this great look.
So they're beams. I mean, it's flooring because it was tongue and groove, or it had splines, but it was
like
beams.
Sections.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of them milled. We got a lot of them milled into smaller planks so that we could use them. And
do we have any left?
Yeah, we're pretty much out of them. We had a ton of them left.
Yeah, it's not online. I mean, the little bit that we have, I think at the warehouse has been like corded off for build. So if you want it, you heard it here. So ask about it.
It was kind of like the iron too. You know, it's like we got a bunch of it in bulk, and it just becomes like this staple in fabrication. You know?
I know, and then when it goes away, you're like, oh, what? We need more material.
Linda Palmer asks in all caps, "How many episodes are there of Salvage Dawgs?"
Ooh, that's a good one. Does anyone want to guess?
Do you have the number?
I'm actually gonna try to do the math in my head real quickly. So.
Oh yeah, what? 9 times 13.
9 times 13.
Minus
25. Are you mean saying what's aired?
Or whatever's hasn't aired yet. 90.
There's like 125.
Like almost 130 episodes.
Because we've also started filming for season 10.
That's right. So fresh episodes on now. New season episodes 9. Coming probably in the next year. We had to guess.
So somebody wrote, and Stephen Kelly said he can't watch you anymore, so he tries to keep up with you here. But maybe you can tell him about Amazon and iTunes.
Okay, Stephen, who asked about he's not being able to watch our show anymore on the TV, so how he can watch it. Thanks also for tuning in on Facebook with us after the show. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, guys, we've had over 100 viewers the whole time. That's awesome.
But you can also watch the show on Amazon and iTunes. And am I forgetting something?
He signed up for our e-newsletter, so maybe encourage other folks to do that.
Oh my gosh, Steven, so smart.
Yeah, well, yeah. So Steven apparently also signed up for our e-newsletter, which is, I mean, everybody's got e-newsletters, but there's a reason for that because it's such an effective way to just communicate to you guys all the new haps.
What's happening? Yeah, you want to know what's going on? Well, that's how you're gonna find out.
Yeah, because anytime that Betsy and I come up with a new, thing we want to share on social media, or there's a new sale, or there's a new promotion or holiday open house.
Wow, this girl. Yes. Okay. So November 18th, Sunday,
18th,
1 to 5, I think. Yeah. We're gonna have a holiday open house
at the Stone House.
At the Stone House.
Well, at the store too.
At the store too. At the store and the Stone House. Sorry, we're going like.
Yeah.
Details in the newsletter.
Yeah. Sign up for our newsletter for details. But, so at Black Dog, the whole store building and the Stone House, the 18th from.
Come hang out with us, the 5 of us.
12 to 5.
A lot of our, obviously,
open
employees,
house.
Our friends, crew club. It's going to be a party. The dogs will be there, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Bring your dog.
I'll be there.
Hopefully Murphy will be there, who ran away.
Mm-hmm.
DAWGS.
Somebody earlier I saw asked where we were. We are in Carrie's house.
Salem, Virginia. This has been dubbed the Sprite Couch thanks to
the
viewers
lemon lime
from
theme.
Last season. The lemon lime, yeah. And yeah.
Carrie works at Black Dog.
Carrie's one of our. Got the couch at Black Dog.
Carrie got this couch at Black Dog.
This, I think, from my mom or Ellie Proctor, one of the two. Lee says, can't get enough. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
either of you guys dating, married? Inquiring minds want to know. Can someone answer that for Ed? Julia says, thanks for asking. And then Ed says, you're welcome. Okay.
Aww. Gosh, guess can't say it enough.
We're not married or dating. We are just acquaintances. Friends.
This is the third time you've mentioned it this one video, which is hilarious.
I know.
When did we meet?
Yeah, like how old were you?
I'm 5 years older than Tay, so I think
way out of my league.
I would have been like when I met him, I was taller than him. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, our families have been friends for a long time.
You may have been like 12 or something, which would have made me like 17.
We used to go to the beach all the time.
Yeah.
I remember.
And my parents, I mean, we were long time patrons at Black Dog.
Yeah. Roanoke's not real big, so, people tend to know. Whoever becomes friends, I guess, early on just stays
lifelong friends.
Yeah, for sure. But then you did your thing after school and went to New Orleans for a little while and then came back, right?
And that's when I needed a job. There was a position at Black Dog. It was the right time, right place.
And we talked her into it.
Yeah, right.
And ratings
really
weren't
twisted my arm. Yeah.
The first 5 episodes, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean,
ratings weren't that great for the first 5 episodes.
That is so not true. We would have had a show if that was true.
Yeah, the first 5 were. You weren't there.
Those were epic shows. I don't know, maybe just because I wasn't there, but I just look
the
at those
episodes
as
are
like
fine,
they were like. I mean, they just like are the classic. I don't know. Everyone was so green and young and.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, none of us knew what the heck we were doing. We still don't.
It's a good thing I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, we all still get along. Yeah.
It just goes to show that you can turn a camera on anybody, and if you give them enough time, they'll come
out of their shell.
Acceptable.
Something worth watching, maybe, to some people.
Jared Jones is watching. I know he was a Maker of the Month
JJ.
guy.
Oh, cool.
What's up, Jared?
What's you making now, Jared?
Jared,
you making anything?
If I remember correctly, he's got a what is it? Man, I'm sorry. I follow you on Facebook, and I try to pay attention. You've got a metalworking shop, I think. Anyway, I know he's doing cool stuff.
That's awesome. Welcome back, Jay. Oh, we've got one more month for the Maker of the Month.
That's true. While I have you guys, this is a great opportunity. I made a video earlier, but Maker of the Month has been a really special competition for us. It's been running since September of last year, and the goal was to get in touch with the makers of the, not only country, but world.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we realize that people watch our show for various reasons, but one of the more popular parts of our show, I think, are the builds. Mm-hmm. And people who watch that and are interested in it are usually people who do that themselves, right? We're all about sharing ideas. And so I think it's cool that the guys in the shop decided to turn that around to our fans and kind of open up that door for them to share what they're doing with us.
Right. For those of you that don't know what Maker of the Month was, it was a monthly competition where you could send in photos and a write-up of a build that you did. And the point was to hopefully have you not be somebody who does this for a living. You know, the point was to have people that aren't woodworkers and metalworkers try their hand at building stuff, and not to discredit the people that have found
obviously that's what we do
corner of the market, but the response was overwhelming. I think we had over 300 subscribers in total, or submissions over the
over a year,
and
that's amazing.
Like
that's
20,
really cool.
30,000 votes.
Yeah,
people turning out to vote.
So y'all in the shop pick like the top 5 or something.
We pick the 5
and then
finalists.
People vote. Everyone gets to vote.
It's a perfect democracy.
Yeah.
But we're ending it because while we don't plan on while we do plan on continuing similar content, it's just we're just changing it up. Yeah, really. I mean, the response was great. Truthfully, it comes down to time. You know, I think that I love to do it and we love to manage it, but it didn't. We were kind of getting pulled in a lot of directions, and it didn't feel like we could really give it the time that it deserved.
It's gonna fit your machine shop a lot better.
Yeah, and the goal with the machine shop, kind of a whole other conversation, honestly. But anyway, long story short, we're going to bring you similar content in a different way down the road, basically. Now, the machine shop, which was shown again in this episode, is still something that I'm working on 2 days a week. There is a YouTube channel called The Machine Shop that my friends and I are creating content for. There's 3 episodes up now. The 3rd episode just launched today, and the goal of this series is to follow, well, really just me. I'm the only one doing it. Is while I clean the shop out and sell the highly specific machines that we don't have a use for anymore. They've all gone to good homes. They've all gone to guys that appreciate what they do. And we're going to turn it into a custom fabrication shop again, much like the one at Black Dog, with the goal of absorbing some of the work from the Black Dog shop. We're going to film show builds there. So there will be a point here in the near future where you start seeing Salvage Dog builds happening in this new space. Hopefully. That's the goal. But anyway, the YouTube series is so you can follow along with the renovation process, and it'll help tell the story when we're up and running, because it is a gnarly shop. I mean, it is a time capsule. It's 100 years old. It's amazing.
Yeah. The little bit of that we showed in the episode is just the tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm. So thanks to the people that are saying they love that series. That means a lot. Walker is watching right now, and he's one of the guys that helps me film and edit it. So that's high praise.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thank you, Sandy, for the link.
Yeah, Sandy just linked my channel. God. What do I owe you?
Wow. You guys are on top of it. I love it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, I think I see people kind of starting to leave. I don't blame them. It's getting late. We've been talking for about a half hour. I mean, it's damn near a podcast now. But
thank you, as always, for joining us and watching the show and your questions and, keeping up with Tay and his spinoff. And we'll see you same time, same place next week at Carrie's house, hopefully on the Sprite couch. Don't forget to vote on Tuesday.
Somebody comment saying what type of beer I should bring next time. I'm open. I'm open for new suggestions.
Yeah.
I thought about
Clark just joined the party.
Clark, our producer.
What are you doing up so late, dude?
Nothing like a punctuality.
Clark's here.
Well,
anyway,
again, everyone.
Thanks to everyone in Kannapolis. Thanks to
Tay,
Grayson. And we'll see you next week.
And the Peanut Gallery, who
and the
behaved themselves this week, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you. See you next week.
How many men?
My laptop cooperated that time.
That was long, right?